What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jimmy Talks. So, the U.S. is at war with Iran because of Israel. This isn't some sensationalized clickbait. This is actually real. We're dropping bombs on their nuclear sites, three of them this time, with Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan. Those aren't just random targets. They're the backbone of Iran's nuclear setup. So, not all of it, but a lot of it. So, what's coming next then? How the hell did we end up here? And why are we stuck in a fight that we didn't sign up for? Let's break it down, because I have to think for you, according to the comments. Yeah, okay, some of you praise me, and you fucking shouldn't. But anyways, right off the bat, the U.S. bombed Iran's key facilities. Fordo, a fortress which is buried underground, where they make all their nukes and shit. TLDR, basically. Natanz is where they enrich uranium, and Isfahan's a major hub for research and production, nuclear scientists, shit like that. These bombs aren't just a show of force. You don't just bomb somebody as a show of force, like, oh yeah, they're not going to take us seriously, so we're going to bomb them. It's not a show of force on some military targets, on some backwards third world nation that can't retaliate. These were calculated, and they were meant to gut Iran's nuclear ambitions, whether for power plants or weapons. Israel's involved with our paid for jets that your tax dollars from your paychecks, where it says federal income taxes with U.S. jets, Intel, and Mossad boots on the ground helping out. This is a team effort. It's not some sort of like quick jab. That's not how this shit works. It's not a fucking Marvel movie. This is the kind of firepower that means we're in it for the long haul. So the U.S. flew their B-2 bombers and they hit it with some big bunker buster bombs that are basically as big as shit and some Tomahawk missiles. Apparently they didn't even destroy the facilities all the way. I don't know. The U.S. says one thing, Iran says another thing. Who cares? Anyways, how did we get into this mess? The truth is, this didn't come out of nowhere. The signs were there, plain as day for years, decades even. Big money lobbying groups tied to Israel have been gunning for Iran for a very long time. NGOs like AIPAC and others, as well as individuals like Miriam Adelson, aren't just whispering recommendations into Washington, D.C.'s ear like some sort of best ally. They're calling the shots, is really what it is. These pro-Israel and Israel-only scum have infiltrated the highest echelons of our government and have had Iran in their crosshairs for decades, seeing it as the big roadblock to Israel controlling the Middle East for the Israeli empire to grow. This isn't even tinfoil hat stuff. Just check the lobbying money, the campaign cash, like when Israel gave Trump money for his lawyer fees when they tried jailing him in the summer of 2024. $100 million from Miriam Adelson for a campaign contribution. $100 million. Think about that. That's a lot of fucking money. And, you also got these cozy ties between these groups and other politicians as well. Their plan's been very clear for a while. Take out Iran, and the U.S. is going to do it for them. This shit goes way back. In 1996, a paper called A Clean Break, a new strategy for securing the realm. Look that up. Replay that part of the video if you need to rehear it again so you can Google it. This paper laid it out. This is open source information that is all out there. Bibi Netanyahu and George Bush officials wrote it themselves, saying the Middle East needed a shakeup in their regimes, starting with knocking out Israel's enemies. Iran was near the top of that list. That playbook has been driving U.S. policy ever since, no matter who's in the White House. This isn't like, oh my God, Trump bad, like some like Trump fucking TDS person. This shit goes back to the first Gulf War, like George Bush Sr. It's over 30 years now. It doesn't even matter who's in office. Iraq in 2003, the U.S. toppled Saddam, was just part of the plan. Afghanistan turned into a wreck. It's totally destabilized, was also the plan. Syria's decade of airstrikes that ousted Assad. Yemen's chaos. Same deal. It's all part of the plan. None of those fights made America better off in any way, shape, or form, but we had a lot to do with it. Our wallets didn't get fatter, our neighborhoods didn't get safer, and the world didn't love us more. But they all cleared the path for Israel. So why Iran? Why now? It's simple if you haven't already caught on. Israel wants them gone, and the U.S. needs to do its dirty work. This isn't about keeping America safe. It's not about keeping America free. It's about Israel's dream of a Middle East where they call the shots, they control the power dynamic, and they can operate more freely. But Iran's got the people, they've got the oil, and they've got the guts to stand up to that. For years, Israel's painted Iran as the boogeyman, hyping up their nuclear threat and ties to groups like Hezbollah. But just last week, Tulsi Gabbard, our director of national intelligence, said flat out that Iran's got no nuclear weapons program. None. Nothing at all. Meanwhile, Israel's sitting on 80 to 400 nukes. Nobody actually knows. And they have no inspectors, no rules. So who's the one we should actually be side-eyeing here? The double standard's laughable, especially when you hear guys like Charlie fucking Kirk with his stupid gum smile and Matt Walsh's dumbass hyping this war up on X. Who do they actually work for? They're peddling lies saying Trump's always been about stopping Iran's nukes. Really? Then why is Tulsi Gabbard, Trump's own pick for the Director of National Intelligence, saying there's no nuclear threat from Iran? These fake conservatives brush off the bombings like, oh, it's not a war, it's just a little strike. Come on, Israel doesn't want a timeout. They want Iran's government gone, like we did to Iraq and Syria. If you think a few bombs will wrap this up, you're dreaming. You're living in fucking La La Land. They'll keep pushing with more strikes, more chaos, and more of our troops dragged in. That's how these things snowball. Let's talk about Trump for a second. I don't have a vendetta against him. In fact, I backed him before. I was on the Trump train pretty hardcore for quite some time. But on this one, he's let me down a while ago. But on this one, he's really let his voter base down. He ran as the no new wars guy. No new wars. Here we are in a new war. Did you ever think in 2016 when, he was probably going to, did you ever think Trump was going to be the guy that's bombed Iran in the headlines? I didn't fucking think that because he didn't want to start any new wars. But anyways, he promised to keep us out of these forever desert wars, and his voters bought it, thought he'd put America first and not Israel. Remember when the news was telling us that Trump is distancing himself from Israel and Netanyahu? Fake news. Now we're bombing Iran because Israel wanted it. Why? Follow the money. It's that simple. Miriam Adelson dropped hundreds of millions of dollars on his campaign. Israel gave him a lot of money for his lawyer fees. Even though he's rich, that shit just adds up in money. He's 80 years old. Bro was cooked. He was going to go to jail on some trumped up, no pun intended, charges. He's 80. He wants to live with his family. He wants to be a president. Trump's also got an ego. He's not going to let that happen. Hey, you scratch my back, we'll scratch yours. That's all. That's what it is. Hundreds of millions of dollars. That's not chump change. That's extreme influence. And it's not just cash. Trump's team's been locking up college kids protesting Israel. Not all protesters, just the ones calling out Israel. That's not the move of a guy running his own show. That's someone on a leash. This war is a gut punch to what Trump stood for. His base didn't vote to bleed out in another Middle East fight so Israel can build its empire. We're fed the fuck up. We've got bridges falling apart, debt piling up, a border mess. Small town USA absolutely destroyed by bad trade deals. Look at these big Midwest cities. Detroit, Cleveland, Buffalo. All these places that had such a great time with American exceptionalism and building things. Falling apart. Crap holes. We're not focusing on that, though. We need to make sure Israel can establish their empire. We're burning cash and lives on a war that's not ours. It's obvious. Israel is pulling the strings. Trump was hesitant to even do this initially, and we could tell because he's usually very outspoken, very honest. He likes to say what he's doing. Not all the time, of course. He is an intelligent man. You don't just tell the enemy your plans or your opposition what you're about to do next so they can just counterattack you. But Trump was hesitant to even do this. He didn't really put out a bunch of stuff saying, this is exactly what I'm going to do, blah, 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 needs to pay. He said there's going to be 2 more weeks. Iran has 2 weeks, but of course that didn't happen. The second part of Iran getting backstabbed in the deal. There's apparently nuclear talks, then Israel just bombs them. Then there's more time for Iran and some diplomacy. Trump says 2 more weeks, and instead we just bomb them instead. It's obvious. Israel's pulling the strings. His donors and his advisors twisted his arm, and he caved into their demands. Now we're stuck. And let me make myself clear. We are at war with Iran. Iran, whatever the fuck. Actually, it's pronounced Iran. Let me address that one real quick, because I seen some comments like that. It's not Iran, it's Iran. And then they adjust their glasses like a little fucking annoying faggot. Okay, here's the thing, bro. If you're going to do that, we're going to go by this logic. When you say Paris, you need to say Paris, because you're uppity and snooty like a little Redditor. Or if you're saying Mexico, you need to say Mexico, because that's the Spanish fucking pronunciation, all right? Anyways, shut the fuck up. We're at a war with Iran. This isn't a joke. Dropping bombs on their nuclear sites isn't like a friendly nudge or anything, or some mental gymnastics that it's like it's a show of force. Oh my God, no, it's not. It's war, and it's not just Iran. We're already at war with Russia through Ukraine, the proxy state, our vassal. Now we've got this new war. This isn't about spreading freedom or stopping bad guys. It's about power and control. Speaking of Ukraine, they operate through us. Remember when Zelensky came here and he cried in the Oval Office? Whoa, blah, 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 blah. The cocaine crackhead, and then Trump just cut them off because they're a vassal state. They do what we want. Of course, we're still sending them money, but not nearly as what it was before. So if they're a vassal state, we can just cut them off. Why don't we do the same to Israel? Because they're not in our interests. And Trump knows it. Oh, that's right, because they actually kind of got into our government, right? It's you start putting stuff together, and it's not like an insane conspiracy theory. I care about my country. That's why I say these things. It's not like, oh my God, I'm already ready for the comments. Oh, Nazi! No, I don't care. I'm not a Nazi. I don't like our country being infiltrated by foreign governments. That is insane. The founding fathers would spit on everyone right now in this current administration and our government for the past 30 years. They'd spit on them. They wouldn't piss on them if they were on fire. What the fuck, man? This war, this isn't about spreading freedom. It's not about stopping the bad guys. Oh my God, life's a Marvel movie. It's about stopping the bad guys. No, it's about power and control. Israel's game is to mess up the Middle East so they can run it. This has been the game plan since the 70s for Israel. The U.S. is the hired help. That's why they give us so much money. They give those specific people a lot of money to do pro-Israel stuff. We're just the hired help, and it's been that way for years. Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Yemen, they're all trashed. Millions of people dead or homeless. Complete chaos. And they weren't like that before. Did those wars make us stronger? No. They cost us trillions of dollars. They made us enemies across the globe. Iran shouts death to America. Why do they shout that? They don't even have a problem with us. They have a problem with how we support Israel to our dying breath. That's the only reason half those Middle East countries don't even like us. So it's just keep getting in more wars for them. It doesn't help us at all, but at least it gives Israel a better standing. Yeah, awesome. So what's next? Iran's not just going to take this. They've showed it in the past. They always retaliate back. Always. They could target our bases in Syria, Iraq, Qatar. I know it's pronounced differently. Oh my God. It's pronounced Qatar. Shut up. Anyways, anywhere we had troops in the region, we got thousands of soldiers just sitting like ducks. Iran could also close off the Strait of Hormuz, where I think it's around a fifth of all of the world's oil passes through there. They've already done it before as well. Gas prices would go through the roof. Good luck filling up your tank without breaking the bank. I mean, we're talking about $15 a gallon or something outrageous like that. Trust me. Fill up your gas tanks. They will definitely continue attacks on Israel, either themselves or through their allies like Hezbollah or the Houthis. Hezbollah's got 150,000 rockets ready to go. The Houthis already messed with the Red Sea shipping routes in the past. This could blow into a full-on regional war. This is insane. We can't be doing this shit. And for what? Why are we rolling the dice here? We spent 20 years slogging through the Middle East after 9/11, An inside job using it as an excuse, by the way, for endless war. We lost thousands of our best countrymen, blew trillions of dollars, left nothing but rubble. What did we get out of that? Not shit. But now we're jumping back in, not because Iran is a threat. Oh my god, they can't have nukes. It's because Israel snapped its fingers. Remember, Israel struck Iran first. Trump tried to be diplomatic. They went behind his back. He said, I had no part of that. I had no part. I didn't know Israel was going to do that. Then the next day he said, oh, we knew about it. So what's the answer? I think it's because he has a big ego and he doesn't want to admit that they went and did whatever they wanted to do anyways, regardless of what Trump wanted. Americans don't want this war. It's almost universal. No one wants a new war. Nobody wants a new war. And the fact that I'm getting attacked for this, not wanting people to die in a useless war that has nothing to do with America, absolutely insane. You gotta take off the blind loyalty to Trump. You've got to. Nobody's itching to die for Israel. Nobody wants their kids shipped off to another meat grinder. Nobody wants to pay $15 a gallon for gas because of a war we didn't need. People need to stand up against this shit. No more war with Iran. America comes first. We've got real problems here. People going hungry, drugs tearing up communities, schools failing kids, an invasion at the border, and the cartel threat. National security threat, by the way, as well as our own foreign adversaries like China. We can't fix that if we're dumping our money into Israel first wars. The war hawks, the neocons, the fake conservatives, the grifters, they'll call you a traitor for asking questions. Fuck that shit. Asking why we're fighting is just good sense. Calling out our leaders, even ones we may align with, isn't disloyalty. It's holding them accountable. And I'm done with Trump on this one, and I know plenty of you are as well. The signs were there with his Israel obsession and his donor ties. To finish the video, here's the deal. Iran's got nowhere to go. Their backs are to the wall, and they're going to fight back. It's not like, oh, they might fight back, or there might be some diplomacy. No, the war started. Get used to it. Just accept it. They've got multiple options here, like hitting U.S. bases, like I said earlier, jacking up oil prices, like I said earlier, with the Strait of Hormuz, sending Hezbollah and Houthis after Israel. They're going to strike Israel continuously. It's just going to be back and forth retaliation with more and more escalation. We can't predict everything, but we know this fight's a waste. That's what I can say. The U.S. doesn't belong here. We've been down this road, and it's a dead end. Israel's goals are not our goals. Their wars aren't our wars. It's time to cut loose from this. But people aren't honest. They get into government politician jobs so they can have power. There's very few ones that stay true to their word. They're consistent. Like Thomas Massey, at least he's consistent. I don't even like AOC, but at least she's consistent. She doesn't accept money from AIPAC. We need to demand peace, fix our own backyard, and stop throwing American lives into someone else's fight. What happens next is on us, whether we let this spiral or we dig in and say no more. The America First movement must grow. Let's see how it plays out. Jimmy Talks out.